Hi, it's that fantasy chick back again with another stream. It's Wednesday, and going to be talking about Superman and Lois, of course, and Gotham Knights, and um, and of course tonight there's going to be another episode of The Flash. The Flash is back in the final season. Um, I don't know if this is going to be another filler episode or if they're introducing another big bad. We'll see. We'll see. They're bringing in what's her name, the Dreamer from Supergirl. So this is the beginning of them bringing in. Well, not the beginning because the Batwoman was the beginning of them bringing in people from all the Arrowverse. So they had the Batwoman. Now they're gonna have the Dreamer from Supergirl. I was wondering if they were gonna have Supergirl, but I guess she represents Supergirl. And we'll see who else they bring in from all over the Arrowverse. Um, but first, I'm gonna talk about Ryan Coogler and X Files reboot. And of course, I have an article. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, so Chris Carter says Ryan Coogler wants to reboot the X Files. The Black Panther director is apparently interested in reimagining the sci fi TV franchise. Hmm. Now, they've already brought the series back uh, and did a couple of more. Well, they did at least one more season, maybe two, recently. Well, a couple of years ago. At this point, it's basically a conspiracy theory, but it seems like the X Files could be coming back again. In a new interview, show creator Chris Carter said that none other than Black Panther director Ryan Coogler is interested in bringing back the popular show. I just spoke to a young man, Ryan Coogler, who's going to remount the X Files with a diverse cast, Carter said during an interview on Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, the CBC. So he's got his work cut out for him because we covered so much territory. IO9 reached out to Disney, which owns Fox, as well as a representative for Coogler about the comment, and will update the story if or when we hear back. But it is worth noting that back in 2021, Coogler's production company Proximity signed a 5-year deal to develop television programs for all of Disney's channels and streaming services. And since it seems likely that Fox still owns the rights to the X Files, the notion that Carter and Coogler had a conversation about it seems incredibly plausible. The bigger question is, will Coogler actually do it, or was it just talks? Carter sounds confident, but in the interview, there was no follow up. Of course, it wouldn't be the first time the X Files came back. The original show, which starred David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson, ended in 2002, then came back in 2016, and then came back again in 2018. At the movies, the first film was released in 1998, and the second one 10 years later in 2008. Back in 2020, there was even news of an animated spin-off, but there hasn't been any updates on that in a while. All of which is to say, maybe. If Carter said it, he did, and Coogler's company is looking to create a new content for Disney, it is, then that's more evidence than most X Files conspiracy theories have behind them. What do you think? Hmm. It has. It's now the diff is it's a rumor, but it's a rumor from Chris Carter himself. And Chris Carter, who didn't say, "Oh, I'm talking," he didn't pussyfoot around it, saying, "Well, there's somebody and something," and da, da, da. He said Ryan Coogler himself. So it came from Chris Carter, the man, the creator of the X Files, and he said out of his mouth, he talked to Ryan Coogler about doing a diverse X Files, and I could see him. Well, I could see him wanting to do a diverse X Files. So will be interesting to see it. I'm a fan of the X Files. I grew up on it. It used to scare the mess out of me every Friday night as a kid, but I still loved it. Um, and I watched. Well, I guess it was a reboot. I watched the reboot when they brought them back in 2016 and 2018. It was really interesting. They had some good episodes when they did brought it back. Um, so it'll be interesting to see what Ryan Coogler does with it if it gets past talks, because a lot of things starts off as talks and they remain talks, and sometimes these talks actually turns into something. So let's see if these talks actually turns into something, or if they remain in the ether forever. Okay, so first, Superman and Lois. Now, Superman and Lois. They Superman and Lois wants to get you in your feels this season with this storyline about Lois having cancer. They start off with the episode with Lois going around telling everybody she knows that she has cancer, and they end on her father and him just breaking down crying. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous. This show is really trying to get me to cry, but I refuse. I refuse. I refuse. You are not going to get me. But so, and then she explained she explained to her father the whole starting chemotherapy, and then we're going to do surgery and radiation and blah 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 blah, just the whole plan. But she keeps missing her chemotherapy appointments because she keeps chasing down these leads with Bruno Mannheim, and everybody's like, "What the hell's wrong with you? What are you doing?" this this article, this story is going to be there, but you won't if you don't go to these appointments. And she's like, and she wants to take control of her life, and blah blah blah. I don't want to be sick. Well, you are. Deal with it. It's like, I was just like, whatever. And in the parallel storyline, you have the kids wanting to do something nice for her. So Nat decides to give her mom's watch. And in another world, Lois was actually Nat's mom. So she was going to engrave all of the kids' names on it and have it be sort of sentimental thing. And once they had it done, the what's his name? Jordan leaves the watch in Jonathan's truck, and Jonathan's truck gets stolen by his girlfriend's father. And so he like, my truck is gone. And then they're like, who do you think took it? And he pulls her aside and was like, last night your dad was asking me a lot of questions about the truck. He asked me how much it cost. She's like, no. So it was him because we poor and we live in a trailer and blah 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 blah. She got all pissy and left. And after she was gone, Nat was like, oh, her father definitely took that truck. It was hilarious, but I loved it. So they came up with a plan to get the truck back. So they was going to use, of course, Jordan's power and Nat's little miniature suit, that like the miniature version of her father's suit. And they go to the chop shop where his car is in the back waiting to be taken apart. So they throw in a little one of those, I don't know where they get these things from, but you know, a little gas thing that the SWAT people have that come in and pull gas. You know what I'm trying to say. Gas everywhere. And so she tells Jonathan, just hold your breath. So he holding his breath. And every time somebody comes to try to hit him, either Jordan or Nat comes and just knocks him out. And he gets halfway through, has his keys, clicks his keys, sees where his car at the back, runs straight for his car, and use his keys to get in his car and drive it straight out of that place. I was like, look at them reclaiming his car. And I was trying to figure out who bought them that car in the first place, but it must have been a gift from Superman's brother. What's his name? Tauro. I can't remember that man's name, but he's not on the. He. I think he. I think he left and went to the other planet, the square planet or something. I think he stayed there, but I think before he left them that truck because he's rich. Um, it's like that's the only person who could have left them that truck, because you know Clark and Lois, when they were getting ready to go to her chemotherapy appointments, they're going in this raggedy old they're going in this raggedy rundown truck. I'm like, why are y'all in this raggedy rundown truck and he's in this big old monster truck? But I guess they let the boy keep the truck. And so then the girl, you know, she had to eat crow because she realized she found the watch within the mother's watch within the boys, within her father's stuff. So she had to come eat crow. And you know, and then they ended the show with him saying, I got something to tell you, because he had to tell her about his ex-girlfriend inviting him to the party and giving him the gold necklace, which he is still wearing. It's like, fool, when are you gonna take this necklace off? Like, he should have took it off when he left, before he left her, but he just still wearing this necklace. It's like, take that necklace off. But anyway, so you get to the end of the episode and they make a big thing out of presenting the watch to Lois, as Lois and Clark finally make their way to her first chemotherapy appointment. And but of course I left out this whole, you know, in the midst of her avoiding all of her chemotherapy appointments, she and Chrissy gets stuck in the freezer in one of Bruno Mannheim's buildings, where they have some equipment and things from some sort of experimental things, and they're trying to figure out what they have going on and what exactly he's up to. And they go inside, and of course the people come back and they're stuck in the freezer. And so she presses her little Superman locator button, and he doesn't come to save them. So the the freezer the freezer is blocking the signal. Now I can understand the freezer blocking the signal. What I don't understand is when Superman realizes that Lois was missing, He was like, I can't hear her anywhere. And they was like, why can't you hear her anywhere? She must be somewhere insulated. I'm like, you're Superman. You can't hear through insulation? Like you're Superman. So Superman got defeated by insulation. I don't understand. But anyway, they eventually allow themselves to get caught so they can get out of the freezer, press the button, and Superman came within 3 seconds. Like she said, it takes him 3 seconds to get there. He took 3 seconds. Boom. Got there. Knocked everybody out. And he told them to go run, call the DOD. So, and which was good because the person who was there had a kryptonite gun and was about to kill Superman until John came and rescued him, because John and Nat always there to rescue the Kents. It's like that's their job. That's their job, to come in and rescue the Kents at the last minute whenever they need something. It's father and daughter, both. He's there to rescue Superman. She's there to rescue the sons. That's what they do. That is their job. But that's all for Superman and Lois. I can't remember what's going to happen next week. But probably more nonsense. More nonsense. More nonsense with Lois and her chemotherapy. We'll see what she gets up to and see how they try to get us in the fields next week. But so Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights had my blood pressure on high. On super duper high. I say this every week. I don't know if I can keep watching this show because it keeps my blood pressure so high. It's the tensions are super high. I guess that's what makes it a good show, that the stakes are so high, the tension is high. If it's your, if that's your type of show, then you would love it. But I'm like, I need to breathe every once in a while. I need to take a breather. But every single episode, there's a situation. So they start off the episode with him saying, well, I need to investigate my great grandfather's death. And in order to do that, we need to get files from the GCPD. Of course, that's, it's not like because it's his great grandfather, it's not a computer file. So they have to go and get physical files. And so, I don't know the boy's name, but one of the thieving siblings was like, "Oh, I can go get it for you. All I have to do is dress up like a rookie cop and go into the police station and get the files." Fugitive. But I'm going to do this. And then, of course, at the same time, there's a gala going on, and there's some bad guys wanting to set off a gas bomb. And Turner is like, we got to go. We got to save them. So this is going on all at the same time. And it's like, there's just too much. It's too much. They got to, so, and because of this, because of what's going on at the gala, it's a all hands on deck situation at the police station. So before the boy can get down and get those files, they're calling all of the cops to report. It's like, no, you need to go report. And it's like, this nigga's not no cop. But but he I don't know how he went and he went back like he was going to report, but he must have doubled back because eventually he did get the files. But the rest of the crew had to break into the gala, while some of them tried to figure out how to, uh, you know, um, you know, break down the bomb. The gang was there. Their leader was in lockup, and they were trying to get them to set the leader free. And they had figured out that they were going to set the bomb off whether they got the leader out or not. And they knew if they get the set the leader free before they could defuse the bomb, then everybody was going to die. So he was like, we had to convince Harvey Dent, to tell them not to do this, so they can have more time to defuse the bomb. So he goes, he gets Harvey, he tells him what's going down, and blah 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 blah. So Harvey believes him. Harvey is in on it. So when it comes time to but he doesn't get a chance to stop them from setting the guy free. So when the guy was about to defuse the bomb anyway, Harvey stops him, he fights him, you know, knocks him out. Pretty much the only one, everybody's just standing around watching while Harvey by himself takes down this one dude. And then there's other people up around, other gang members up around who had who's watching with their weapons trained on everybody. But I guess Robin comes and starts taking them out. Robin, and I guess Turner too, starts taking them out one by one. So, and then the rich girl and the other thieving sibling, they defuse the bomb. So then when the guy finally he throws Harvey off of him, gets the diffuser and presses the button, nothing happens. He, so then what ends up happening is the leader is set free and he's on the loose, but they have the entire, because all of the GCPD surrounded the entire building. So they have the entire gang under arrest now. They just don't have this one guy. So they arrested the entire gang. So, and, the Scooby Gang was able to get back to their lair. And of course, Joker's daughter, while everybody was trying to save everybody else, she was going in there robbing people. She came out with a whole bunch of jewelry and stuff. And of course, when they started looking through the jewelry, there was like at least 2-3 watches that had the Court of Owls symbol. So there was people there at the party from the Court of Owls. But of course, she don't know where she got these watches from, so she can't say who was who. So high tension episode. So so what's his name? Turner. He decides he wants to fight crime alongside Robin, wants to follow in his father's footsteps. But of course, she's all like, Bruce didn't want you to. He wanted you to, didn't want you to go down this path, blah, 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 blah. So, so they go back and forth over that. Um, and that's pretty much that show. So he's got the file. So like I guess they're gonna every episode they're gonna get a different piece. So first they got Bruce Wayne's journals. Now they got this file on his great grandfather's death. So I guess every episode is going to be a clue until finally they have all the clues that they need to put together the whole picture and figure out who these Court of Owls are. And they're going to do what Bruce Wayne didn't do, and they're going to clear their names. Oh, I'd love to see it. But I hope they do. I hope they do because, like I said, this is too much tension. This is way too much tension for this to carry on over into a whole another season. I need this to be over. Okay, so Friday we have another video. It's going to be a Harry Potter video. And I shall see you again next week, next Monday. So, toot toot. Thanks for watching.